Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. This is the second book in the Murderbot Diaries series, and it is from Tor. There you go. Not Tor Nightfire. It's not a horror novel. So as I said, this is the second book in the Murderbot Diaries, and it takes place very shortly after the events of the first book. Our Murderbot has essentially run away and is trying to get to a location where he can potentially solve a mystery about himself, and things happen. It's not much of a nutshell, but that's all you're getting at the moment. For the too long didn't watch folks, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Now, I think a big part of that is the narrative voice. It is the Murderbot himself telling us the story, and he is very sarcastic. I don't know if sardonic would fit here, but he has a great narrative voice. He was basically a security unit, and he's a mix of organic and mechanical, but not a cyborg or well, maybe a cyborg, not an enhanced human. There are humans that have like mechanical enhancements, but he's made from cloned cells and put together to be this security unit that are basically their property. They're owned by corporations. They are rented out to people that need them. There's a contract. They have to follow the security units have to follow orders. Blah, blah, blah. And as we learn immediately in the first book, a Murderbot has hacked his own governor, so he is not under anybody's control, and all he really wants to do is watch his media, which is mostly soap operas, but he's still, because he doesn't want to be found out that he has hacked his governor, he still has to act as if his governor is working properly. And spoilers, at the end of the first book, the group that he was rented to, it's not really the right word, but that's the word. The group that he has been rented to has found out that he has hacked his governor, but because of the events of the book, they essentially buy out his contract and make him a part of the group. But the reason he calls himself Murderbot is sometime in the past, previous to what we read in the first book, he killed a shit ton of people. And so, at the end of the first book, he leaves, sneaks off away from this group that has sort of essentially set him free. And he is trying to go to the place where he murdered a bunch of people to figure out what the hell happened. And so that's where we're at here. He has left the place where the group of people was, traveled to one sort of midpoint, finds more transportation. That's what we're at, that second point in his journey, and he's looking for transportation that will get him to his destination. And I don't think this is really spoilery. The ship he ends up on is he picks one that has no human crew at the moment, but it's a super artificial intelligent system, and so it keeps talking to it. He just wants, on this trip, he just wants to watch his media. But this ship wants to keep talking to him and wants to watch media with him, and there's stuff going on there. And then when he gets to his final destination, the only people allowed at this place must have a work contract. And so Murderbot passes himself off as a security consultant to a group of people who are looking for a security consultant. He meets them They agree to hire him, and now he's going to have a work permit that will get him to where he needs to be. But he also has a job now, helping this group of people recover files that were stolen from them by a former employee. Things are never going to be that simple. All right, I think I've covered the basics of the story. Hopefully have not given anything too much away anyway. So as I said, the big draw for me is the narrative voice. I absolutely love the way the Murderbot is telling these stories, and just his attitude. He just wants to watch his movies, his TV shows. But he wants to know about this mystery in his past. And so he has to go through things to get to a point where he can learn what happened. And so I like the idea that essentially he's sort of a private eye in this book, although more of an Atticus Kodiak from Greg Rucka, who is a security specialist. He's a Murderbot. Says that he's a security consultant, so he's not necessarily he's not hiring himself out to find something or solve a mystery. He's there to keep his clients alive in case the people they're dealing with have nefarious ideas, which, spoilers, they do. I mean, they must, or we wouldn't have much of a story. So you could read this standalone, but I think it's going to work better if you've read the previous book and probably read the next book, because there are some answers, but I'm not sure they're all the answers to the mystery of Murderbot. If you've watched my weekly wrap-up, you will know that I just bought, as of this recording, just a few days ago, bought the final 4 books in the series. It's a 7-book series. I had the first 3, and then I just bought the final 4. And it's going to be difficult to read things in between, because I really, really enjoy these and really want to get to the 3rd one, but I don't want to overdo it. I also don't want to run out. But that's a me thing. Anyway, Artificial Condition by Martha Wells, The Murderbot Diaries, Book 2, 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely fantastic story. I'm very excited to dig into the rest. I wish I could watch the series, but I'm not going to get another streaming service. So, unless it comes out on a different streaming service eventually, or maybe comes out on home video, like, Blu-ray or DVD, probably not going to get to see it. But I always have the books. Physical media is where it's at. So there you go. Question for the video: have you read the Murderbot Diaries books? Any of them? Have you seen the TV series? What do you think of either of those things? I pretty much have already answered that. I've read 2 out of the 7. I loved both. I have not seen the series, and will be lucky, consider myself lucky, if I ever get to see the series. But what about you? What do you think of Murderbot? If you're familiar with it at all, let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. Try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Bluesky in the description below. That's all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.